Welcome to another Aluvian Gaming game review. Today we're going head-to-head with The Crew 2. The Crew 2 comes out tomorrow, June 29th, and originally I wasn't going to review a game based off an open beta, as it's not fair to review something that's not finished according to the devs, but calling it an open beta is disingenuous at best. The game comes out 5 days after the open beta ends, all while advertising inside the game says if you buy the $100 Gold Edition, you can play it 3 days early, which means this open beta was really just a free weekend to generate hype and buzz for the game before it comes out. The discs are already printed, and if somebody played the supposed open beta and then bought the Gold Edition for the head start, there's only a day between the end of the beta and release. That's not time to patch anything. It's a final product, and I'm reviewing it as such. The Crew 2, at its core, is a racing game, clearly, but it wants to have a non-linear story where you're encouraged to do what you want, but in reality, it feels aimless and needs direction. You're free to do events in any order, but of course, you need to have money to buy the vehicles needed for the different types of races. And there's only so much of each type of race, so you end up having to do races you didn't really want to do in order to unlock more of the ones that you actually did want to do. It's a false freedom of gameplay. There's a ton of variety, sure. The game features cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, and planes, off-road and on-road. Cars alone features street, drift, drag, hypercars, and touring cars. There's so much diversity in styles and types of races that you can't really ever focus on the kinds you like. It feels like a chaotic mix of fun and work. Well, how's the driving? I'd say it depends on the mode you're playing, really. In some modes, the cars can handle really well, while in others, it seems like the vehicle's just doing whatever it likes. I noticed my car seemingly sliding or spinning out for no reason, or my boat just slowing to a crawl at random. Maybe it was something I was unaware I was doing wrong causing it, but the game lacked any explanation of mechanics. In the boat racing, I still don't understand the jumps. They encourage you at the beginning of the game to use the jumps, but more times than not, they'd slow me down and I'd watch the AI zoom past me right after I land. Again, maybe I'm doing it wrong, I don't know, but since they lack any real instruction on how to do things properly, I'm at a loss and just started avoiding all the jumps, which led to more success. In the aerobatics mode, where you fly a stunt plane performing tricks you're instructed to do, something simple like doing a loop repeatedly would not register as being completed. Why? Who knows? The game didn't bother telling me. When racing, the AI feels kind of rubber bandy, but not in the Mario Kart avoid getting in first place or a blue shell will be finding you shortly way. It seems to help keep races closer, as the opponents tend to slow down a bit when you fall behind, but also have a knack for being right there if you mess up. It feels fair in that respect, just don't make a mistake at the end of the race. Mistakes that I found usually happened because the courses were poorly marked, especially when racing on the streets. The best way to tell where to go was by taking your eyes off the road to glance at the minimap in the bottom right of the screen. That's a problem. My favorite mode was the touring cars. They not only handled as expected, but the tracks were well marked and felt as they should. I also had a lot of fun with the power boats, despite the issues mentioned before. It had me thinking back to playing Hydro Thunder for hours, just not as arcadey, obviously. I really did enjoy the overall presentation and aesthetic in the game. It's clear they put a big focus on it, and it really shows. The artwork for events, the colorful video transitions, and general style felt cohesive, vibrant, and captivating. The vehicles are equally fantastic and are the star of the show. They did a great job of recreating all sorts of vehicles with phenomenal fidelity. Frequently, while in the middle of a race, you'll get the urge to admire your car. You may be tempted to open the game's photo mode to capture the moment, only to regret it immediately after. The photo mode could have been a really nice feature. I mean, they added the ability to rewind gameplay to get the perfect shot, and maybe that's why it takes up to 10 seconds to pull up. It kills the action and speed of the game if you want to use it. This is the first game I've played where entering photo mode takes longer than a second or two, and it just ruins it completely. Speaking of loading screens, they did a nice job attempting to hide loading screens before races. They added little scenes where you drive to a gate, then slowly drive through, say, a tunnel or paddock, to another gate at the other side. This is where the race is loading in the background, and you're in control the whole time, albeit with a significantly reduced top speed. Occasionally the loading will take longer than the scene takes to drive through, causing you to reach the second gate and have to wait. But it was a good effort and a nice detail that works correctly the majority of the time. The game is strange in its both attention to detail and lack of it. They like to plan big, sweeping shots that are cool, but then the environments and people in them lack detail. Or they script a cool intro scene to someone, but the facial animations are really bad or their voice is weird and annoying. You can modify your car's exterior with money earned from races, but you cannot buy performance parts. Those you can only get as random loot rewards from races, essentially making it random if you can upgrade your car's performance or not, and when I say loot, I mean it. The items have ratings, but they also have rarity assigned to them, indicated by the standard green, blue, and purple used in MMOs. You have to grind races, not to earn money to buy the upgrades you want, but to hope the part you want drops from the random race rewards. It just doesn't make sense. In many ways, it really feels like The Crew 2 is trying to be too many things at once and therefore doesn't excel at any of them, and it feels strange to play, and that's probably the biggest problem. Although the presentation is great and it really has some nice moments, I rate The Crew 2 a 6 out of 10. Before ending this video, I feel it's important to mention that the game requires an always-on internet connection. So if you're playing and your internet goes out, or Ubisoft takes the servers down for maintenance, you're done playing until it gets fixed. There's no legitimate reason why you cannot play this game offline. It doesn't need to communicate with the game servers to do a race against AI. It's ridiculous. This fact affected me while I was capturing footage for this review. Several hours of the beginning of the game got corrupted, but since there is no local save to delete, I couldn't start over and thus had to just use what I had. This also means this game has a fixed lifespan. When Ubisoft decides to shut down the servers, the game disc will be no better than a drink coaster. Always online makes sense for certain types of games, and this isn't one of them. So until the servers come down, good luck and drive safe.